Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How are you guys doing? Sorry I'm late and I already see super chat. Thank you so much. So glad that I caught it before it disappeared. Thank you always for your super chat. Iran COVID blah blahs. Rearm Japan. Yes, exactly. Yeah, my usual spurg out. You gotta pay your bills too. Thank you so much for your super chat. As always, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is what I do, and I really appreciate it when you guys give me super chat. Yes, because what happens is that you kindly give me, and then my money goes to our activities. My husband and I, we work on activities together, and it all just, we don't have a luxury life. It just goes to goes to our expenses of activities, and and it really helps, the money coming from you. Thank you so much. Another super chat, Eric. Thank you so much. Hey Yoko, on break from work for a few weeks. Oh, nice. Was always too busy to catch the streams, and I finally took a job. Ooh, still in a semiconductor school, where I'll have Saturdays off. Nice. How are you and the family? We're doing great. Thank you so much. My dog back home is doing great too. My dog, by the way, he's a little Shiba dog, but he's already like 9 years old, or 10th this year, I think. Or no, maybe 10 years already. So yeah, a little growing older. So my father, my dad is taking him on I don't know, like a random, taking him to random places, by putting him, the little dog, in the car and so on. But yeah, we are doing great. Thank you so much. The pollen is flying around though, so people are getting kind of sneezy and so on. But yes, nice. It's nice that you now you now have Saturdays off. Yes, yay, yay, yay. Nice to see you all too. Good evening, Yoko. Good evening, Yoko time. Yes, hello, hello, hello. Yes, I feel it, like the pollen. Like I don't have that allergy, but I kind of react to. So it's like mildly, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, someone in Japan, by the way, sneezed while driving his car. And then, so he went sneeze, right? And then he kind of got unconscious for a minute. And then he went, like, he was driving and he went on the other side, and also, like, on the other side where the car comes from the front, right? But he somehow missed it, and he went into right in front of this clinic or hospital, and then ran over these two elderly ladies, and they are dead. And I feel really, really awful watching that. Like, how can that happen? Like, it's like if they came out of the place a few seconds later or earlier, then they would be still with us today. And it's so awful. Just a sneeze, you gotta be careful. Or you don't know what's gonna happen. Man, hey everybody, hey. Replaying Snatcher made me Snatcher. What's Snatcher? Made me realize Hideo Kojima predicted so many things happening today in modern society and in the political climate. It is almost crazy accurate, really. Masterpiece game. Snatcher. Replaying. Okay, now I see. Snatcher. I wonder if I know. Snatcher. 1988 Konami adventure game. Huh. How come I don't know this? I mean, it's obvious. My parents didn't allow me to have games at home. The only times we were able to play were, when I visited my grandparents' house. My cousin had a video game player. So that's Midwest. What are you talking about? Okay. Comment down. Hi, Yoko. Greetings from the country of the living skies. What do you think? What were World War III starting in Ukraine, Iran, or Taiwan? Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. No, I won't. Sorry. Not with Ukraine. I mean, it's kind of like creating the foundation, I feel, but I I can't say, like there's not enough information that comes out. Like all countries are very secretive, when it comes to their secrets. It's hard for me to judge, but I have a feeling this is just my hunch. It's not based on any data, but just by living like this now, I feel like this is just how it is today. Like people often use the term hybrid war. So it's like information, cyber war and military war and diplomacy, and like it's all combined. It's a war. So when I was interviewed by Fox News last year, I talked about it. U.S. and China are already at war. That's what I meant. It's a hybrid war, and it's not really like Cold War, because we know that we are fighting and we're recognizing each other as like as enemies now. And so maybe this is the type of the war that we are already in. It's different from like when it comes to like officially declaring a war. It's a different story, like politically, but what we are actually doing, the true essence of what we are doing today, it's like we are already fighting a war. And the thing is that because the foundation of the conflicts that we are in, it's the foundation is the free how I see it is the free world versus authoritarian regimes like CCP, Russia, Iran, and that sort of countries. So what that means is that there are many countries involved, and the world is divided in half, right? And then what happens is that each country is the front, and so we have many different fronts, and that's the difficult part of it all. And I think that we are at the phase of competing. The both sides are competing, which one can team up better to produce what we need to do, like military technology and economic circulation and so on. CCP side is doing well, right? Like they don't care about the rules or laws, and they steal money. When it comes to North Korea, by the way, like it's a small country, but they sustain their country because they know how to steal, just like CCP. CCP steal like technology and so forth, but when it comes to North Korea, for example, they steal money by cyber technology. So they are good at stealing, so they advance their system better. And but on the other hand, like we on the free world, we are teaming up well too, like information alliance. Like what do you call it, like Five Eye or something. That like information sharing is there, and nuclear sharing is there. And also we have Quad, we have the common strategy, free and open Indo-Pacific strategy. And then we are now working on semiconductor factories, to to make it able to produce within our circle. So like I feel like the way that I see is that both sides are like creating their own cycle. So it's the competition of that, I feel. So, and then when it comes to like the World War III, I feel the sense of just military conflicts, and Ukraine, I don't think that the US can it's basically US, right? Like we Japan is involved too, but we can't directly support them. We can only give aids like vests or some medicine or some sort. So we can't really do anything, um especially for another country. For our country maybe we could, but and that level is difficult to change. But when it comes to Ukraine, it's very hard. And I think that it's the same for the US. The US is giving a lot of money, and I know that, and so is Japan. We are on the same page, and we are getting, we have the burdens, but and we do have problem. And the reason why Japan is like this is, of course, like we want to be on the same page as the US, but at the same time, we like Russia and Japan, we actually have borders, right? So like they have stolen our islands, and we've had the conflict, like territorial disputes, for decades. And like it's a like our neighboring countries, one of the neighboring countries. So it's our problem too, so we want to fight too. But it's like China is still, like, for us, the biggest threat, right? The only problem for us is the ties that we have with China economically, and that's really the problem. Like if we can shift from there, I think that things would change, and that the conflict around Taiwan, like what so-called Taiwan emergency, might not happen if we, Japan, can if we could cut ties with China economically, like even if it's not complete, but if we can reduce the engagement, China is already, like, their growth rate is dropping. So, and they have the enormous amount of population, and the frustration is piling up. So if we can damage their economy, then the military conflicts might not happen. And that's the direction that I think that we have to move things around here. Look at look at the lonely keyboard behind you. You can see how lonely he is. Yes, my little keyboard, but it's missing a few octaves. It needs more. There are not enough keys there. I thought that I can work around it because I can change the octaves by putting some buttons, but I realized that I need all the keys at the same time. It's really difficult. I want a new keyboard. Ohio, Ohio. You're a stoic doggo. Yeah. You're getting allergies too. Yeah. Good evening, and a nice way to celebrate. And my birthday. Oh, your birthday today? To end my birthday. Oh, happy birthday from Japan. Nice. Oh man, birthdays are so fun. Yes. In Japan, by the way, our year, in school or fiscal year, it's from April to March. So those who are born now is like in the earlier age. I can't explain well, but yeah. Anyway, I use humidifiers to combat the airborne pollen during this time. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, it's common here too. Yeah. Huh? No BLM Antifa nonsense out here. That's nice. Man, America is so huge that, yeah, things are different in each state. Good evening, my time zone, morning, afternoon, Joe. Yay, good evening. Hey, did you guys go to CPAC, or did you hear about it? Because I think, did it end? Man, my calendar somehow is still in January. It's March now. I don't use this room except for live streams or interviews, so like I'm not here, so I get confused. But yeah, so Trump was there, and he made an amazing speech at the end. People were very enthusiastic, and I read the news saying that who was it? DeSantis and Pence didn't participate while Nikki Haley was there. So we can already see the division that's happening within the Republican Party. Oh, thank you for your super chat again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry, my I'm using StreamYard and it doesn't show the actual sticker, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, that will make my husband happy too, because it's really tough to a be an activist. I'm a political activist. I sometimes do journalism too. Um, because when we do activities, we need to report, and nobody reports it if we don't do it by ourselves. So we do it, but it's really hard to sustain our living like this. Oh, and thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, sit back had their keynotes and ended tonight. Oh yeah, it ended tonight. Vivek Ramaswamy gave a great speech. Ooh. Would highly recommend checking it out. I should check that out. Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy. It's cool. Oh, he is as old as me, and he was born in August, so that's the same as me. Cool. I already feel close to him. It's so nice when I see like somebody from my age, like I instantly, it's a Japanese thing, I'm gonna follow him. Nice. I'll check that out. Cool. Thank you for telling me. You guys are the windows for me to America, and politics in the world. So, and he has written many books already. That's amazing. Is he like I wonder. Yeah, Harvard, Yale, yeah. That's what I thought. Every time like I see someone from my age, still like in the 30s, but and I know that my people my age have already succeeded in their life. I know that, but like when people have multiple books written, then I usually have the sense like, oh yeah, Harvard or Yale, right? Man, cool. Thank you so much both for your information and super chat. I really appreciate it. And some pronunciation lesson going on. Vivek. Okay, thank you. Pardon my language, but Nikki Haley is just another establishment scam stooge. Trump is a real deal in this seatback. Yeah, I think so. But the interesting part is where Nikki stands, that she could have a distance just like DeSantis and Pence, but she chose to be there, probably to gather some, to have some support from Trump's supporter, right? So it's like you have to like it's limited. You have to get the votes from the same party, basically. So it's about your strategy, where like how are you gonna get the votes from where? So that's very interesting. Like she chose, but others didn't. Haley's no good. Yeah, I realized that Trump is really still supported and loved. Isn't that amazing? Is it a Yamaha keyboard? It says Impulse. I don't know the brand. Impulse. Impulse keyboard is Novation. 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 I wonder which country that is though. I'm just curious. Sorry, I gotta. Where is that? Doesn't say. I don't know. Can't tell. But yeah. Anyway, um, yeah. So Trump, and if it's Trump, you know, let's say the former President Trump gets elected the next time, then Japan will have no problems because people still love Trump here. There are a lot of Trump supporters in Japan. Yeah, I mean, liberals, I don't think it's as intense as the liberals overseas, but yeah, they don't like Trump because he was great friends with their enemy Shinzo Abe, who is no longer with us today. But yeah. But when you look at Donald Trump from the perspective of human rights, which Democrats or liberals in general care about, Donald Trump actually listened to our former leader Shinzo Abe, and Shinzo Abe told him about the abduction issue with North Korea. North Korea has kidnapped hundreds of Japanese people. They have kidnapped South Koreans and other like European people and so on too. There are like four other people from other countries that are kidnapped or abducted by North Korea too. But when it comes to Japan, it's officially announced like a less than a what like 20, probably like 17 or so. I don't exactly remember the official number, but it's only like a dozen more people that are officially acknowledged by our government that are abducted by North Korea. Like that's the enough that we can confirm with evidence, but it's reported by the police here that we can't get rid of the doubt or suspects that like over 800 people are abducted from here to North Korea. And so we have this abduction issue, and our government, whichever or whoever the leader is, they don't want to deal with it because it's very complicated, like because it's not only about the abduction, it comes with military and economy. And now, like, we should have focused the problem or the issue, like we should have limited that to the abduction itself, but we have expanded the problem to nuclear technology development and economy and blah blah blah. So it's hard to solve that problem. But then during Shinzo Abe's time, Abe talked to Trump and he listened. And what happened was that Trump mentioned about the issue and even talking about the symbolic one of the victims named Megumi Yokota. And he mentioned that at the UN. And that's American leaders in the past have never done that. Like as far as I know, that like at least like they don't care that much. So like I realized like Trump is just so like whatever the image that the left has towards him, he's really open-minded and he's very tolerant. He first listens and see what the person that he's talking to is saying. Like he once just opens his arms and just listen, right, and then decide. And that's how a leader should be, right? But on the contrary, I heard about the fentanyl. Am I pronouncing it right? The drug that's very controversial now in America. That I hear that more people are dying today because of the drug, and that about and Biden's commentary about this mother who lost two sons, and he was not sympathetic at all. And I saw the clip, and the way that he talked was awful, right? And like it was apparent that he doesn't care. So that was like when I think about Trump talking about our people, just like not even Americans, some the people from our country, Japan, like the way that Trump sympathized with us, and that he is there to of course like thinking about us, but like altogether he wants to work on the issue. So yeah, that's what I want from American leader, right? But Biden, like just by their own citizens, like, and he doesn't even go to the sites of where's that, what's it called, I forget the name, but is it in Ohio? Like he doesn't visit there, right? Like sometime he will visit, like yeah. Like what the hell. Uh, so different. Yeah. Oh, super chat. Do you think Trump could convince Kishida-sama to leave the TPP? Would that be good or bad for Japan, in your opinion? TPP used to be something that we would worry about, but I think that our people, like our politicians and also bureaucrats, they worked it around to benefit us. So I don't have much negative image on TPP today. And what's funny is that we don't talk about it at all. I don't even know what happened to that thing. Hmm. Yeah, because as for Japan, like Japan's diplomacy is not really a diplomacy. It's about being in a good relationship with everyone. So, the US is different. The US is always doing, like always fighting for your national interests, which is great. I want my country to be like that. Like I see as like a different version of like business minded people, like the Americans are just good at politics and also negotiations and so on. But Japan, we we just accept the premise and then try to work things around. And that's our characteristic culturally. So yeah. And if we want to do something, like let's say that if we wanted to leave the TPP, then we would talk about it to other people first and then see what happens, rather than just claim like, yeah, we are leaving. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, it's about Japanese people prioritize the harmony, which we call wa, of the situation that we are in. So we don't want to disturb the current premise. So that really is not good when it comes to politics often. But yeah, sorry, I'm not too familiar to give a proper answer, but thanks for reminding me about it. Yeah, love you and your husband, and I hope you have a kid or two soon. Watching big UFC fight now. UFC fight? What is UFC? Is it like a martial art? Uh, Ultimate Fighting Championship. Ooh, tough guys and tough women. Cool, cool, cool. Let me see. Like, I need to know like the the world in a broad way. Thank you. That's nice. Seems like you're having fun. Just Japan must deport non-Japanese. It's not easy like that. Plus, like they are. It's all about the ratio. The percentage of foreigners here. Japan is. I think that people have the wrong idea about Japan often. That Japanese people are very savage. And even though we welcome foreigners, we're not, we treat them equally. So that what that means is that it can be very severe for foreigners. And when they can behave like us, then we accept them. But if they stick to their own opinion coming from their own standards from back home, then we can be very, very harsh and strict to them, so that we don't have to deport them. They would just go back home. So, but the difficult ones are like Westerners are easier to, I feel like they're easier to communicate and so on. But when it comes to Africans or Asians, it depends on the person really. Like there are a lot of different kinds of people here. So, but at least like the majority of us are still Japanese. And I think that the language barrier is supporting us too. That you have to be able to understand or speak Japanese in order to survive here, which is very tough for like refugee type of people. I'm friends with people from Tibet, Uyghur, Southern Mongolia, Hong Kong, but and they mostly speak good Japanese, but it can be very tough, when it comes to like work and so on. So like I know their struggles. So yeah. Why are North Koreans abducting Japanese citizens for technological intel expertise? Um, it happened on like it was happening even before I was born, so over like 4 decades. And they might be doing that even today, but the official ones are said to be the Japanese teachers, that they teach Japanese, and also like cultural lessons and so on, so that they can educate their spies. But yeah, and other, I'm not too sure about others, but yeah, they just tell about, you know like our how we do things there, so that they can copy what we do, to counter us. So basically, in order to the bottom line of that is to fight against us. You know, they are North Korea is such a weird country. You know, hmm, I feel like they're still living in the past, but it's kind of understandable because they live next to CCP, right? China, and Russia is very close. And with South Korea, they have issues as well, so that they have to be very like they try their best to be very hostile, so that they don't get attacked or taken the advantage of and so on. So they have the attitude. But they sometimes make funny videos though. When it comes to launching like ballistic missiles, like the videos that North Korea announces officially. My husband and I were watching the news and I saw the North Korean soldier or lieutenant or whatever. Like he's pressing the firing button, when he pushes that, the missile is launched, right? So then he goes, but he screams like fire, and then poof, right? Like what's the? You can just press it, right? And so like we were laughing so hard, but I can't believe that our people are still abducted and like they are still there being captured by such a country. We are way stronger than them, but now they are developing nuclear weapons, and the threat is there. The same for Russia, the nuclear weapon is there, and that's why we can't attack them. So man, it's the weird thing is that Japan still doesn't have nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons are not everything, but other countries have it. And why don't we? Like a country that is trustworthy, unlike others. Even India is big, with the population, and they're smart people too, and they're powerful. They're our, one of the important countries to protect the national security, but um, not very like they have environmental issues and so on, and there are things that they can work on better. But they have nuclear weapons somehow, but not Japan. It's so weird when you think about the comparison. Like, why? Showing support from Texas. Nice. Thank you. I want to visit Texas one day. I mean, I want to visit America. If I visit America now, I would probably learn different things, especially if I have my husband with me. Yeah. East Palestine. Oh, yes. That one. Okay. Did you hear about Biden's cancer removal? Oh yeah, it was on the news. I didn't pay too much attention because he's good, right? Like, was it skin cancer or something? Hmm. How do you know when a Japanese smile is sincere? That's a tough one. It's very hard to tell because sometimes like we just smile just to make others happy, to and also not to show like not to appear rude. So, hmm. But when it comes to people working at the store, especially like a mall type, like a mall, shopping mall, and so on, people smile and so on. That's all fake. Yeah. I think that people, I don't know. Man, the weird thing about Japanese people is that when we laugh, the majority of people, especially women, they go, they hide their mouth. Maybe because our dental care isn't good enough. It's like, oh, we shouldn't show our teeth. I don't know, but yeah. But growing up, when I was a teenager, I was good friends with this rich girl. I wasn't rich, but she was, right? She's Japanese, but and she was already like, even when she was in elementary school, she was traveling around. Like one day she like, and it was, when was it? Junior high school time, she even wrote me a letter from the UK and so on. And she was already like an international back in the day when I was a teenager, right? But so she tells me all the concepts about Western culture or elsewhere. And then she was complaining how Japanese people don't laugh out loud, that it's very sneaky and it's courtesy for us, but when you really think about it, it's really weird. Like, if you truly feel like laughing or smiling, you should do it like wide, right, to express yourself so that others know what you are feeling, right? So like, my friend and I, we used to talk about it. So when I laugh like that, right? And that's kind of not very nice here. Yeah, it's so weird that we have different standards. So I talk like this, right? Like when I speak Japanese, my tone or the way that I speak is a little different, but when it comes to facial expressions or the way that I express my feelings and so on, it's not so much different from when I speak in English. So my Japanese friends often tell me that I'm like overreacting or that I'm too expressive and so on. But that's the character that I have, so that's good. But that's isn't that interesting? Do you think Japan should develop nuclear weapons? Yes, if we can afford it, and if other countries allow it, and if we can actually get rid of all the limitations. Yes, definitely. Technology is always good. And also, when it comes to like deterrence like this, it's very important. But at the same time, if we can develop something equal to that, right? Man, it's so scary that some other countries have the sound weapons, I don't know why it's called in English, but basically they attack you with sounds or frequency or whatever. That's when I picture that, it's so awful. I don't want to even imagine that. um, let's see. Good evening from New Orleans again, Yoko. Great to see you. Great to see you too. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, but oh, LRAD. I wonder how to read it. Long range acoustic device. Yeah. Why does it sound cool when it's in English? Interesting. Um, do you think that China will attack Taiwan? Yes. Didn't Xi Jinping say that? I wonder if there's any information. Like oh yeah, by 2027. Wait, why? That's America's analysis. Didn't Xi Jinping say that it's way earlier than that? Or maybe 2027. But anyway, yeah, it's I say yes because it's like from the beginning of the current regime, when she became the leader there, he said that he has this dream to rebuild the empire. So the empire includes Taiwan, right? So like they have this. It's the same for Russia too. Like they're somehow not satisfied with the current land and so on, which they can't, like even right now they can't even take care of what they've got, and they want to expand somehow. Maybe by expanding they think or believe that things will be better, but yeah, they want to, their mind is like all about empire. So yes, they're gonna do it, and it sounds so crazy from the the our standards, right, on the free world, but they just have this cultural difference from us, right? Like Japan used to be different too, but we westernized ourselves to keep up with the Western nations starting from hundreds of years ago. Like our ancestors knew it that we had to adjust ourselves to, be on the same side of the Western countries and so on, to in order to protect us too, and also to compete and develop our country, right? But when it comes to China or Russia, like they are sticking to their old fashioned culture. It's probably because of the geographic reasons too. But yeah, the history is so interesting that it's repeating the same things over and over because the geography doesn't change. You know, the Uyghurs here smoke Newports and listen to rap. I just don't want Japan to be destroyed like America or England and much of Europe. Yeah. The thing is that they can't make a living if they are living like that here, unless they go join the you know, what we call Borikudan, like a mafia type of groups. They will get just arrested here in Japan, you know. And I was actually talking to my husband about this, that in Japan we don't have like slam. Is it slam or slum? Slum. Wait, slam guy. Um, how do you spell that? Slum, right? The poor people, and it's kind of dirty, and people sell drugs and blah blah blah. We don't have that sort of places. I mean, there are some places similar to that, but people are not like poor because we have this social system to get money, and that's the problem for us rather, that if you don't make enough living and so on, then you can go to the city hall and hey, I'm poor and I don't have an occupation, I can't find any good job, I don't have a car, I don't have this or that, and you check all that stuff, and then you can receive money, so then you don't have to live on a street, right? And there are lots of volunteer groups, like non-profit kind of organizations that help people like those who are not employed and so on. So we have all this system, so it's hard to be like on a street, doing bad things, because you don't have to. We have options. So that's very, I don't know, maybe because of the education level, that our obligation of education, we get educated until high school, basically, or at least junior high school. So when you're around 15 or so. So and the education system is good enough, at least for now, and that people can read and write and they don't have any problem, living here. So yeah, that's, I just, when I think about it, it's different, interesting, difference. Oh, thank you for super chat again. Oh my gosh, you're so kind and tolerant. Thank you. TSMC will build a new flagship, their nicest one. 300 millimeters fab production facility in Arizona. I wonder if China might be making moves that has the company worried would love to work with them. TSMC is Taiwanese company, was it? What? Right? The semiconductor one? Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's there's a factory here in Kumamoto Prefecture, Japan, like my island, Kyushu Island, right? Huh, now they are thinking about the second factory here too. That's good. That's good. I wish our country would, like our people would make their own factories. But but as you know, like there are over 10 companies working together. Like it comes back to what I was talking about in the beginning of this live stream, but um we have or this group, like we have established this group, consisting of a bunch of our advanced companies, and they are working on making semiconductors together. So that's good, and I guess that they are part of it. Not sure, but that's good that they are doing that in Arizona too. What's flagship? Flagship. What's a difficult word? Is it a ship or product? Oh, I see. Yeah, you gotta watch out for spies though. Um, yeah. No, he said. Oh wait, he said there were people. Oh wait, 半導体の会社. なるほど. Yeah. Yeah. So definitely worry about spies. But fun history. Thank you for super chat. Fun history for you. The fab I just left is the old Fujitsu RAM factory in Oregon. Wow, they have a factory there? Beautiful campus with lots of sakura trees in the parking lot. Oh, that's nice. That's so Japanese. When you go to work, it's basically like very Japanesey, right? Oh, that's nice. Wow, you must be really smart to be able to do a job like that, to have a job like that. I'm when it comes to like math and so on, I am not good. So, wow, that's awesome. I know that Texas in Texas there's Toyota, right? Like it's so nice that we have factories in America. It helps American people too, right? Like it's more jobs locally. So Microchip bought it, but Microchip. Fujitsu built it. Oh, nice. Nice. I feel like Japanese brands are fading though. He means USD 300 million. Ooh. This. Oh, I see. Million. Production facility. Good. We gotta like now is the time. Like the way that I see is that now I'm into spirituality too because it gives me more perspective to think about things, right? And it said that earlier it was more about the ground. Was it ground or I think it was ground. I forget, but it was more about like constructing things, building it, and like um 300 million wafer, like a small one, right? Tree about yeah. Okay. So until like a few years ago, like actually like around when COVID started or so, spiritually speaking, it was like building up things and piling up all the things like materialistic type of era. But now it has shifted to the wind era. So it's very like something about like now our foundation is about what you can't really see. like all this technology was like Wi-Fi, like internet, you can't see that. Like there, it's there. I know, like if you look into like a really small particle and so on, but like you can't really see. And then it's the communities and so on. You can get together with people beyond your borders. It's like just like you and I are talking like this, like beyond our materialistic limitations. And so we are changing our foundation today. And now we are preparing, especially because the authoritarian regime side, they are working so hard to make it work. They want to be like us, to be advanced, and they want to lead the world, right? I mean, it's really like we have to choose, whether it's America, the USA, or China. That's the choice that we have. Like, we have to make that choice. And I can't believe that some, Asian countries in the South or African countries. I'm like, aren't they reading the news? Like, aren't they watching the news that other countries, like let's say Australia, whatever, like some countries are already deceived by CCP, and they have fallen, and they saw the nightmare, right? Like they can't take back their own port or land. It's like you have to um you have the contract with CCP for like 100 years or some sort, and it only benefits them. And Indonesia, was it Indonesia that they wanted to build bullet trains, and they had a contract with us, and Japan prepared all this information, and they were working with us. Things were going well, but then China comes in and they're like, oh, use our bullet train. And then they change from us to China, and then it stopped because things don't work well, right? And then in the meantime, they have to pay for them to I guess to how do you explain that? Like to regain the time and so on. And so that's awful, right? And then like, can't you see what's happening? Like all these Asian or South African countries, I know that they want the investment like so fast, right? Like the earlier the better. For Japanese, like Japanese people are too, like, we're too much in details. Everything needs a receipt, and you have to report in details, and it has to be a certain format. It's so annoying, I know. But that's the reason that things go well, right? But some people overseas, they just want things quickly and easily, and then that's why they get deceived by CCP and see the hell, that they put themselves in hell. Man. Oh man, I need to go in 10 minutes or so. Yamato was a naval flagship. Oh, that's what you mean by flagship. But in the business, oh yeah, yeah, right. In business, they use it as a top product. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The best product, like Yamato, was Japan's best battleship. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, when I looked up the word, it had several meanings. Firstly, it said battleship, and then on the last one, there was a top product. So now I see. Yeah, I'm learning from you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I feel like I missed a lot of comments earlier. Sorry for that. Um. mm, 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 mm. But I think I'm doing well. Oh, I missed that Yamaguchi-san's comments. Hello, Yoko-san. Hello. Sorry, I missed that comment. DeSantis only serves as spoiler in 2024. Haley is no threat to Trump. I wonder how DeSantis would get around, But would he confront Trump though, DeSantis? Because that would in politics you have to think about the votes that you can get now and in the future. So if I were DeSantis, I wouldn't attack Trump so massively. At least right now, if he does, like, he will run, right? And if he runs, then of course, like in debates and so on, like a primary, you have to uh you know fight with him. But then there are ways to fight your opponents. And if you disrespect Trump too much, then you would lose the votes that you could get from his supporters. So, I mean, not saying that Trump supporters would change, but like there are some people that are not very determined. So, yeah. Without Trump, the GOP is just a party of extreme neocon globalists who are just as bad as leftists destroying America. Yeah, I agree. It can be difficult to find a country some corporations are based in. Well, find a country some corporations are based in. They won't say on the website. Oh, okay. Let's see. Just looking back a little bit to see what I missed. What's the economic situation right now in Japan? Really bad. Really bad. Just like your country. Yeah. Like we have inflation, like the prices going up is not necessarily a bad thing, right? If your salary is going up, but in Japan, it's not happening. Japan is the only country in the developed countries that where our salaries are not, like our income is not going up, and only the prices are going higher and higher, so people can't afford to live. It's very difficult now, but like still like there's necessity, like we have to live, so we do pay, but so we can't do luxury things. So what happens in times like this is that our demands change. So because of the change, some business, um they they disappear, right? But others, there are others, like um for example, there are now more takeouts, right? People use because they can't afford it to eat in a good restaurant. Now they order something to do a takeout, which is cheaper. And then what you need is the container, right, to put some foods in. So there are companies like that that create that container and so on. So like when things change, there are like surroundings that change, right? So there are some byproducts. Mm. So there are companies like that that are actually getting money. So yeah, but fundamentally, our electricity fee is very expensive, and that's due to a lot of nuclear power plants are not working, because we had to pause after the Great East Japan earthquake, and we had to stop it, not only out of fear, but because the left and the foreign newspapers like the one in France or New York Times, they kept doing all this anti-Japan campaign to bring down the reputation of nuclear power plants and the safety of having that in Japan. And so the leftists are working so hard to stop us from having that um, ability to make electricity, and that actually, because we don't use nuclear power plants, we are actually abandoning like tons of money every single day. So that's part of the reasons why our economy is bad. And in addition to that, um, the electricity fee goes up. because in winter right now it's very cold here in Japan still, so like people are using heaters and so on. So of course, like you need electricity, so that's making things worse. And also during Abe administration too, we had to raise our consumption tax twice. So now it used to be like when I was little, when I was in elementary school, earlier grades, there were no consumption tax, and then 3% was born consumption tax, 3%, and then during and then it went five somewhere, and then Abe raised that to 8, and then 10, so now 10%. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, let's see. Just scrolling down. During the Korean War, one of the American soldiers that defected to North Korea married a Japanese woman who was abducted. Oh, his name was Charles Robert. Jenkins-san. Yes, yes, yes. He died in South Japan. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah. Yes, yes. It's so man, like it's when politics steal away people's human rights. It's I get so angry. Mm. Corrupt leaders always believe their failures are due to others. My nose, water. Um, Biden blames Trump. China claims Taiwan is slowing China's progress, etc. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. And Biden really like man, I titled as Biden's like the thoughts on Biden administration. I didn't really talk about Biden enough. But yeah. Biden is man, the reason why, Japan is doing well today with America is probably not because Biden's leadership, because I don't see a leadership there, but rather the system itself, like a State Department or like Pentagon, and also the military people, the those who are doing the job are doing a great job and they are cooperating with us well. Right, like whether they have the orders from above, like they know what to do. So I feel like that's how we are able to carry out what we are carrying out. um so man, Biden is, I wish that he would just be strong, whether it's like I know that conservatives in America don't want to interfere in other countries, but in my opinion, if you have a good strategy, then it will be acute and just done in a minute. Like it's not gonna be a minute, but like it will be so much in a shorter time than what Biden is doing. It's like Biden's policy is dragging and dragging, and you can't deny the impression. It's weak and it drags, and you don't see the like a goal, the end goal of this all. Unlike Trump, what I briefly read, Trump talked about how he could end this Russia's war in 24 hours, which is exaggeration, I think, but still. But that's more convincing, right? Like, and also that's more appealing to me because no matter how much you hate Russia, for example, the soldiers are being sacrificed too, and not only Ukrainians but also Russian people are sacrificed too with this Putin stupid desire. So we need to end this, right? Yep, 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 yep. Oh, I see super chat. Super chat. Sorry for missing many comments. Hope you and Ishi-sama have a great afternoon. Thank you. Take care, Yoko. See you next time. Thank you. I like the number 2222. That's angelic number. Thank you. Yeah, I should go. Yes, yes. Huh? I posted a video of Ukraine using child soldiers and it got removed and I got a strike. Oh no. Oh, weird. Man, the all this like social media rules are not it's so biased. It's applied in a certain times, other times not much. I'm a conservative and feel that we should interfere in other countries. If they are attacking us, oh yes, one of our allies are killing innocents. We should also do charitable work for emergencies. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that from a conservative side. Yeah, that's like us here in Japan. Hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes. It's kind of weird that we are trapped by this concept of money too. I'm not gonna, I'm not saying that we should forget about money, but like, isn't it weird that we decide like, oh yes, this is a currency, and then we have money, and then that's how we do the trades. But then I'm like sometimes like, can there be like a special occasions, you know? But that's what I do though. I do all these activities for free. Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Biden is not in charge. Yeah. Someone from the Joseon period has entered the chat. Oh, oh yeah, someone is writing a lot. Cool. What? Asuka culture came from Baba. Kudara Korea. Kudara became Japan. Uh, what? Japan is Korean colony. Even the Japanese emperor Akihito is. That's so weird. Let him or let her enjoy that story. Japan is a small country and yet it is actually a gigantic nation. Yeah, their cities are more populated than American cities. Yeah. I mean, I feel like in Japan, everything is compact. It's dense. Meanwhile, in America, of course, it has a much bigger land and much bigger population. But if you look at the Midwest or somewhere like in the middle, it's lots of land, not many people. That's the impression that I have. So, like, I feel like it's harder for Americans to protect their everyday life and so on, and even national security. It's hard because America has not only the financial gap, the rich people are super rich and the poor are really poor, and the gap is there. But when you look at the land, the some cities are really huge and dense, but there there are lots of countryside where they're like it's a small communities and so on, and so different. But Japan, what's different about Japan is that if you go to anywhere, it's fundamentally the same. Tokyo is big, but so are other cities today, and there are countrysides, but it's unless you go into the like really like in deep in the mountains, like there are transportation everywhere, and the cities or there are lots of stores, like what we call shotengai. What? We often have. shopping street. Yes, like a very countryside-ish places have that too. So yeah, it's the same mostly, and our education level is the same throughout Japan. And yeah, I'm gonna block this person just so that I can see better. Um, yep. Biden administration just approved California's last nuclear power plant to apply for another 20-year license. That's good for them. Yeah, like Japan is fighting with leftists really. But the interesting part about it is that leftists are growing older and older, and then younger people, um, they don't buy their leftist agenda much. As I said before, I think that I talked about it a lot last week. But yeah, the time it's changing, I think it's good that now that we have the internet, there are lots of fake news coming from both sides. I have to admit that it comes from the right side as well, not only from the left side, but still, like, we can get information way easier without the medium, so that we can see things through. And also it comes from the world, so it's easy, when it comes to wars, like Ukrainian situation. I think that at least it's horrible what they're going through, but at least like we can all see what's happening. The soldiers have cell phones and they film what they're seeing, and we can see that. So then, if you look at what is happening, without any bias, just see the footage and so on, then we have common sense. So the rest of the world can see what is happening and what to think about it without the narrative coming from the media. So at least that's a silver lining, I think, in this era. And oh my gosh, you wrote, you wrote Yuko. That's not Yoko. It's very funny. If you write in katakana, yeah. Abe ni kami no gukago. Yeah. Former Prime Minister Abe is now, but he's our god, one of the gods now, though, because that's just Japanese way of thinking that when we die, we become gods. Or maybe the translation is not good, just a spirit. Maybe it's a spirit, you don't know. But mm, hello, I'm about to go. Yeah, we need to build nuclear power plants. Trying to keep old running can lead to disaster. That's a good point, yeah. And in the meantime, that we make new ones. Like here, we're changing our standards too. That it's like 60 years or so, I think. Yuko is just another name. Yoko, Yuko, Hiroko, Kanako, Minako. Back in my age, like or earlier, until maybe like until like 2000, the year 2000 or so. Like older people tend to have the name that ends with ko. So my friends used to have all the ko at the end, but any ties I stickers. Man, I'm craving for coffee, even though I had already. But I gotta go, guys. Um, there need to be statues of Shinzo Abe. There's one in Taiwan, very very good one. I think they're gonna send it to us. Not sure, but yeah, we should have that, and also build a memorial museum would be good, because yeah, museums are important. What is the meaning of Yuko? It depends on the character that you use for the name. I can't tell by Romaji. like the English spelling or katakana. I need to see the complicated letter. For me, it's my name means the son, no, the child of the sun. So that's why I'm so bright. I almost became a Yuko, by the way. My parents were thinking about Yuko before I was born, but then they changed it towards the end of my mother's pregnancy. I probably insisted from her belly, from within, like I'm gonna be Yoko. Yeah, I probably did that because my name seems like it's so natural to me. I feel like I chose it, and also I feel like I know this sounds weird, but I think that I chose to be Japanese female because knowing that it's very like what's that word in muteki, invincible. It's invincible. I'm colored, but then I have somewhat white skin, and I'm a female, and Asian, and it's Japan's advanced. So like it's strong. And also I wanted to learn English. And like even when I was a little child, I was exposed to English. I didn't understand. My parents didn't even understand well, but like my parents both have a decent amount of understanding. That like they have a good level. There are the good level of understanding English. So like I had this sense of like English in my head somewhere, and I was not good. But then when I was 15, studying for the entrance exam of high school, I'm like, I need to get good at English because it seems fun. And then I fell in love with the sound of American English. American English sounds so good to my ears. Like I love American English. Yeah, like you can see that, right? Or else I wouldn't be speaking from Japan. Uh, but yeah, I feel like I chose my path. So, コーヒー飲みすぎる飲みすぎは良くないですね。Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Good, God bless you, Yoko, and Hide. Thank you, sayonara. Thank you. That's a well-written comment. Thank you so much, guys. Chado-san. Yeah, cool. Yeah. What does that Yuko mean? Kind child. So I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be kind. I'm gonna be bright. Oh man. Yeah. It's bizarre. Yeah. It's like if you look at Harry Potter or Star Wars, those who have left this world haven't really left and they're still there with you, guiding you, and that's Shinto. Okay. Man, it's so fun talking to you, but I gotta go. Okay. No, I gotta go. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Please stay here. Oh, just got here at the end. Oh. Oh well. Yeah, probably I was dragging for you just to say hi to you at the end. Yeah. You can tell I love her. Yeah. Cool. Yoko suits you. Yes. Tamo Sasaki. For me, it's coffee. My husband is like growling from the living room, like, "Rrrr." So I should go take care of him. He's like, "Bleh." Thanks again for the stream, Yoko. Thank you. Thank you. Man, I should stop making stupid faces. I'm just good at it. Oh, well. Thank you. Time for the stream. Bye. Bye. 決して去らないで去ります。さよならです。It's time to say さよなら. Actually, we say bye bye instead of さよなら. Like on a casual situation. Good night, Yoko and husband. Good night. Thank you. Yeah, that's good. That makes you a great conservative. in the US or wherever you are. That's good. That's good. You gotta stick to your people's culture and religion. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna live the day. I actually need to prepare for an interview. I'm gonna be interviewed again soon, and I'm excited, but at the same time very nervous. So I'm gonna write down things to get prepared after this stream. So yeah, you do. You use that. Okay, anyway, thank you so much for coming, and also those who have given me super chat, thank you so much. Thank you. Please come back next week. I'll be again in the calendar is somehow in January. After this, I'm gonna tear that all apart. Anyway, thank you. I know that it's late there. Have a good night, guys. I'll talk to you in a week. Okay, follow me on Twitter too, and subscribe if you haven't. Okay. You missed it, but you're here. You guys stay up late. Thank you. I'll have a. お、初めて来ましたが楽しかったです。That's great to know. Thank you so much. Yeah. Ask me questions next week so that we can talk more. Okay. Thank you. This is a weekly live stream, so come back next week around the same time. Hopefully, I'll wake up earlier. Okay. Have a good night. Okay. Bye.